Once again, good evening po sa lahat na tagapagpagpig po dito sa ating lecture for tonight. So, today lang po natin dumami tayo. Please encourage natin na nanood na po ng ating lecture, lalo na po sa classmates po natin. At encourage po natin yung ating mga kakilala po na pagtatake po ng civil service exam. So, kindly invite nyo po sila dito for this live streaming. So, ang ating lecture po, ako po sa lahat, mamaya Sir Jim, Sir Jim Bacadi po. So, papahinga lang po sa konti. Nagpo-prepare lang po. So, hintayin lang po natin dumami tayo para makapagsimula na po tayo. Please invite na po yung mga natin, yung mga kasama po natin na mag-review for this lecture. Dahil lang po natin mag-ano tayo, 50. So, pag pumatak po tayo ng 50 viewers, magsisimula na po tayo. So, once again po, live na live po tayo ngayon. We are broadcasting live from the Philippines po. Ayan. So, good evening po sa mga students po na nangangarap po na ipasa at maging government official na po for the civil service review. Alam ko naman po, may natutunan kayo sa mga previous discussion po natin. So, ito po ay day 7 na. Day 7 na ng ating pagsisikang mag-review. And then, by December 12, so, examination nyo na. So, good luck po. Advance good luck po sa inyo. We hope nagagalingan nyo ito. I-apply nyo po yung CAR method. Sa mga bagong dating po, we are live po tonight. We're live po tonight. And alam ko, mas may excite po kayo ngayon. So, medyo ang discussion natin is vocabulary and paragraph organization. Kita lang natin mag-50 concurrent viewers. And then, magsisimula na tayo. So, once again, sa mga bagong dating, good evening po sa inyo lahat. And we hope na mas marami pa kayong matututunan for this lecture for tonight. So, kindly share din po itong live streaming po namin sa inyong mga friends, especially sa inyong Facebook accounts. Para makapag-hikayat pa tayo, may mga gusto pang review, may mga mahaba na review. Yan. So, never opportunity, libre po itong pag-review po, handog po ni Dr. Carl Balita. So, we pick 47 na lang po, tatlo na lang nihintay natin. 7 viewers. So, stay tuned lang po. Ilang minutes lang po, magsisimula na po tayo. By the way, live po ang ating lecturer, Sir Jim Bacadi po. Siya po ang magtuturo po sa atin ng lecture, which is for usage vocabulary, paragraph organization. Okay, nag-click na tayo ng 50 viewers, so start po. Pero bago po yun, nais muna natin makisa sa pambungad na panalangin.
Let us feel the presence of our Almighty Creator through the gift of life that we continue to enjoy. Through the past, present, and the future that makes life wonderful. Heavenly God, we praise your omnipotence, we trust your omnipresence, and we believe in your loving heart. Grant that our hearts be filled with love, our heads be nurtured with wisdom, and our hands be molded to care as we journey through this life. May your blessing be showered upon our lives so that we may fulfill our mission to serve our life purpose, and so we may achieve our vision of becoming close to you. Make me an instrument of your love, a messenger of your peace, a steward of your creations, and a gift to humanity. Grant our wishes so that through them we become more equipped to serve you and others. Guide us, be with us, enlighten our minds, touch our hearts, and guide our hands. Bless our loved ones, our families, our world. All these we ask through our loving Creator. In the silence of our hearts, let us pray for our personal intentions. Amen.
Okay. Good evening po sa inyo lahat. Welcome po sa ating civil service review. So, hindi na natin pahintayin pa. Hindi na tayo maghintay. Let's introduce po ang our lecture for tonight. Walang iba po, kundi si Sir Jim Baradi. Good evening po, Sir Jim. Evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So, I hope you're already finished with your dinner. Tapos na po ba tayo sa ating dinner? Or are we still having our dinner? So, I hope all of you are now here. The rest, pasok na po tayo. Invite po natin yung iba na mag-join sa ating free review on civil service examination. You know, you are very blessed. You are very lucky that we're having this review. And I would like to welcome you all to Dr. Carl Balita Review Center. Yan. Handa na ba tayo? Let me share to you my screen. Wala na tayong sasayangin pang oras. Nakikita po ba natin yung ating presentation? I hope it's visible to you. The only problem here is I don't know if nakikita. Yes. Ang akin lang is hindi ko nakikita yung mga responses ng ating mga reviewees.
Wala pang chat, sir. Wala pa.
Okay, wala pa.
Bati pa lang po yung mga nandito, sir. Mga bagong pasok.
Sir. Wait lang, sir. Check ko lang po sa para at least ma-open ko sa phone ko yung ating YouTube at ma-open ko po sa aking phone.
Ayan live tayo ngayon. So,
live na live po tayo.
Live na live, kitang-kita naman. Kitang-kita na yung ano mo, wait lang Habang naghihintay po tayo kay sir, please encourage po yung mga kakilala po natin na magte-take po ng exam na manood po sa review na to for civil service examination. So, i-share niyo po itong link. I-hit niyo po sa share button and then copy niyo lang po. Pwede niyo lang pamahagi yung may share po natin. Maraming salamat po.
Again, good evening, everyone. And we're here for our lecture on verbal ability, particularly on correct usage and vocabulary, particularly the use of context clues. By the way, I would like to introduce first myself. I am Jim Baradi, all the way from La Union. Actually, napakaswerte ko po at napakaswerte nating lahat kasi dito po sa amin ngayon meron po kaming rotational brownout. So, it's a blessing na despite the rotational brownout that we're experiencing in our place now, still meron kaming kuryente dito sa aming lugar ngayon. Kaya I think it's really destined that I'm having my lecture now. Without further ado, let's start our lecture with our first topic, which is correct usage. When we talk about correct usage, this is actually one of the topics that is being covered in verbal ability. And I know that there are terminologies, meron po tayong mga iba't ibang terminolohiya or mga salita na minsan napagpapalit-palit natin dahil nga ang mga salitang ito minsan ay magkalapit sa kanilang spelling, pronunciation, and other aspects, which we thought na pare-parehas lang pala ang kahulugan. Now, in the next items here, I would like you to respond. I'd like you to respond to the questions or items and fill in the correct word or the correct word that would make the sentence complete. Okay, so what you need to do here is comment the item number and the word or your choice. Example, if the item is number 1, all you have to do is type 1, then the word or choice. Let's start. The first pairs of words are accept and accept. Ano ba ang pinagkaiba nito? Tignan natin. When we say accept, it means to receive or to agree with. While when we say accept, it means to omit or exempt. Is it clear? Pag sinabi nating accept, tanggapin. Pag sinabi nating accept, hindi kasama. We exempt that object or that person. Let's have here item number 1. What do you think is the appropriate term that would complete or would make this sentence complete? Rose did not accept, or Rose did not accept the job offer for flimsy reasons. Now, all you have to do is type 1 accept or 1 accept. Yan. Ano natin makikita yung mga comments natin dito? I'm just curious. Ayan. Okay, nakikita ko na sa aking phone. Very good. So when we, in the first item, the correct answer is accept. Rose did not accept the job offer for flimsy reason. Meaning, si Rose hindi niya tinanggap yung trabaho for these reasons. Number 2, we are all excited for Christmas. Blank Mary. What do you think is it? Now, I'd like you to type 2 accept or accept. Ano ba yan? To accept or accept? Okay, tingnan natin yung ating live chat. Very good, no? This time it's accept. Anong ibig sabihin nitong sentence na ito? Lahat tayo excited for Christmas maliban kay Mary. Is it clear kung ano ang difference ng accept at accept? I hope it's clear. So we now move to the next pair of words or expressions. We have a lot versus a lot. Actually, they sound the same, but they differ in terms of function and meaning. Let's see what's the difference between the two. When we say a lot, it's a noun phrase. It's not just a word, but it's a noun phrase, which means many, marami. Pag sinabi naman nating a lot, it means to distribute or to give or to assign, ibigay, i-allot, diba? I-assign, i-distribute. That's the meaning of a lot. Now, as you can see here, a lot here, the noun phrase a lot is always two separate words. Hindi pwedeng magka-dikit because this one, wait lang, lagay tayo ng pointer options natin so I can highlight. This one is not a real word. Sorry for that. Let's have the first item. 15 minutes was blank for each of the candidates to speak. What's it? One a lot or one a lot? Tignan natin yung ating live chat sa YouTube. This is still item 1, okay? Because we have here one a lot. Okay, very good po. Now, let's explain. Sabi rito, 15 minutes was allotted. It's in past participle because of the helping verb was. Was allotted. Meaning what we're looking for here is not a noun, but a verb. Particularly in its past participle form because of the word or the, what do you call this? Not the word, but the suffix ed, no? Which makes allotted a past in its past participle form for each of the candidates to speak. Ang ibig sabihin, 15 minutes lamang ang ibinigay para sa bawat kandidato para magsalita. That's the meaning of it. Is it clear? I hope it's clear. Let's have the next item. How about for number 2? Number 2 po tayo. Blank of people attended the National Convention. Ulitin natin, ang ibig sabihin ng noun phrase na a lot ay marami, many. Ang ibig sabihin naman ng a lot na verb ay to distribute, to give, or to assign. So what do you think is the correct answer? Is it the noun phrase or the verb? Chat box or in our comment section in YouTube. Okay, very good. So the correct answer here is the noun phrase. Anong ibig sabihin? A lot of people attended the National Convention, meaning maraming tao ang nag-attend sa National Convention. That's the meaning of it, or that's the translation of that sentence. I hope it's clear. I hope we're clear with the differences between a lot and a lot. Let's now proceed to the next pair. Okay, bago po natin sagutin yan, ay pumunta muna tayo sa ibig sabihin ng affect versus effect. What is the difference? Let's see. When we say affect, it means to influence. When we say effect, there are two meanings depending on the function. Yung isa, kapag nagfa-function na noun, ang ibig sabihin ay result. Ito ay is resulta. Ito ay epekto. If it's a verb, it means to cause or to bring about. Again, when we say affect, it means to influence. When we say effect, as noun, it means as a result. When it's a verb, it means to cause or to bring about. Let's answer item number 1. What do you think is the correct word to complete this sentence? I would not let my personal problems blank the quality of my work. Is it affect or effect? Okay. Yan, sagot po tayo. Still number 1. Number 1 lang po muna. Okay, yan. The correct answer is affect. I would not let my personal problems affect the quality of my work. I would not let my personal problems influence the quality of my work. How about number 2? The typical side effect, there's even an S. I already said the answer. The typical side blank of COVID-19 vaccines include pain at the injection site, fever, fatigue, headache, muscle pain, chills, and diarrhea. What do you think is the correct answer? Is it affect or effect? Very good. Nakukuha po natin. Tama po. Okay? Tama po. Very good. So it's effect. The typical side effects of COVID-19, and this functions this time as a noun. Meaning the typical side effects, the results, it's like the results, the effects of COVID-19 vaccines include the following. How about number 3? How about number 3? Jane Blank, new policies that would benefit the organization. What's it for number 3? Is it affect or effect? Is it affect or effect? Okay, very good. Ay, okay. Tignan natin. Parang nagkakaiba, paiba-iba kayo ng sagot rito. May nagsasabing affect, meron ring nagsasabing effect. This time, what we're looking for is a verb. Simply because the verb here is in its past tense. Diba? May ed tayo. The regular form of a verb in its past tense form has d or ed. Okay? So ang hinahanap natin, it's either affect or effect, of course, because both of them can function as verb. Now, ang tanong, mas appropriate ba yung to influence or to cause or to bring about? Let's see. Jane affected or affected new policies that would benefit the organization. What's the correct answer? It's effect. It should be affected. Jane affected new policies that would benefit the organization. That's the correct answer. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ibig sabihin, si Jane ay, what do you call this? She created new policies that was brought about the benefit for, or some benefits for the organization. That's it. And these new policies had benefits to the organization. That's the idea of it. That's the reason why the correct answer is effect. Let's have the next pair of words. How about adopt and adopt? Sa tingin po ba natin may pagkakaiba Yes, meron po. What's the difference? Let's see. When we say adopt, it means to take as your own. Usually, ito ay ginagamit natin commonly kapag sinabi nating aampunin mo ang isang tao, for example, or isang pet, for example. That's the context of it. That's when you use adopt. But when you say adapt, it means to adjust oneself to new situations or changes. Nakuha po ba yung difference? When we say adopt, kukunin mo na buong buo at sayo na. Pag sinabi mong adapt, it means you need to adjust, you need to make some changes for it to be suited to your context or sa iyong sitwasyon. Let's answer item number 1. Grace blanked and arranged the melody to fit to the equation. What is it? One adopt or one adapt? Is it adopt or adapt? Okay, let's see. Again, what we're looking for here is a verb. Why? Because it's the action that was done by Grace for the melody to fit to the occasion. Music ito has something to do with music. Now, can you take the music as your own or can you adjust it for the occasion? Both of these are verbs. Now, meron pa tayong clue rito, which is the word arranged. Now, which is closer to arranged? Is it adopt or adapt? The correct answer is adopt. Very good. Yan, may nagpapa-shoutout po. Shoutout po sa LGU Baguio employees with us. Shoutout sa ating mga LGU Baguio employees dyan. Next, number 2. The doctor blanked the baby who was abandoned in the hospital. Tignan nga natin kung makukuha nyo ito ng tama. I-consider nyo rin po yung tense ng ating verb. Hindi lang po yung word mismo. Yan. How about for number 2? Is it adopt or adapt? Okay, may nakakuha po na isa. Exactly yung sagot na hinahanap ko. 2, 3, 4. Very good, no? Yung iba nagkukulang lang tayo. Ayan. You're partly correct if your answer is this one, adopt. But you're 100% correct if the tense of your verb is in past tense. It should be adopted. No? The doctor adopted the baby who was abandoned in the hospital. Very good. So aside from knowing the difference of the function ng mga salitang ito, it's also important that you know the tense of the verb. Dito, for example, paano kung wala ito? Hindi ba? So kailangan may ed rin po ito. That's it. So it's so important that you also know the tense or the form of the verb. Okay, before we proceed to the next item, shout out po sa ating sa mga kaibigan natin dyan sa LGU Ordoneta or Ordoneta City University. Shout out po sa inyong lahat dyan. Let's have the next item. Okay, sound the same, but they actually differ in terms of form and meaning. Advice versus advice. Let's see the difference. When we say advice na C, it means a counsel as to what to do or how to handle a situation. This is what you give. No? This is the noun. When we say noun, ito yun. Ito yung binibigay natin. When we say advice na S, ito yung ginagawa natin. Okay? You advise an advice. Pwede yun. You advise an advice. Ito yung ginagawa mo, it's the verb, ito yung binibigay mo. Naintindihan ba natin? Ito yung ginagawa mo, ito yung binibigay mo. Kuha ba? Let's see if you understood it clearly. Let's have item number 1. You must appreciate the blank of your friend. What's it? Advice na C or advice na S? Okay? Ano ba ito? Ito ba yung advice na ginagawa mo? Or ito ba yung advice na binibigay mo? Kapag ito yung advice na binibigay mo, it's the first choice. Kapag ito yung advice na ginagawa mo, then it's the second choice. So what's it? Okay. Ano bang ginawa mo? Let's say you must appreciate. Anong ginawa mo? Or anong kailangan mong gawin? You must appreciate. This is the action that you need to do. What do you need to appreciate? The advice. What advice? The noun. The noun 1. Yung ina-advise mo. Yung binibigay mo. So the answer is the advice with C, not the advice with S. Let's have the second item. Parents always blank their children to finish a degree before getting married. Now I'd like you to type to blank. To advice with C or advice with S. Very good. No, you know already the difference. It's easy to identify. Sabi ko nga, dito ang ginawa mo or dapat mong gawin ay i-appreciate yung advice. Dito, ang ginagawa ng mga parents ay sila ang nag-a-advise. Therefore, the answer is advice with S. Very good. Nakuha po natin. Tama po ang ating mga kasagutan. May mga mangilan-ngilan na siguro nalilito. But again, let me remind you, ang advice na S, ito yung ginagawa mo. It's the action. No, it's the action. Ito po yung binibigay mo. Okay? That's why you advise and advise. What's the advice? For their children to finish a degree before getting married. Ito po yung advice, ay lagay ko na lang yung, ito po yung with C. Ito po yung S. Nakuha po ba? This is the advice. This is what you do, or this is what the parents do. They advise their children to finish a degree before getting married. Nakuha po ba ang difference ng advice at advice? Let's now have the next item. How about all together and all together? What's the difference? When we say all together, it means together in a group. Magkakasama. Pag sinabi nating altogether, it means completely. Ibig sabihin, ang isang bagay ay natapos na. That's the meaning of it. Let's see the difference by answering the following items. Item number 1. The legislators did not agree, blank, that the bill on the creation of a new agency was worth passing. Is it altogether or altogether? This is quite confusing. Is it the legislators did not agree together in a group, or the legislators did not agree completely? Okay? Marami pong nakakakuha ng tamang kasagutan. Very good. May mga iba na nalilito. Ayan. The correct answer is this one, altogether. Why? You have to remember that this word is always used after a verb. This is the verb. Did not agree. Did not agree completely. Did not agree altogether. That's it. That's the reason why the answer is this one. Next item. How about this? Blank, the members of the committee move that the motion be reconsidered. Is it altogether or altogether? Okay. Just for me to clarify, this is the entire verb. Did not agree. You cannot just have did. Okay? You cannot just have did. This is your helping verb. This is your main verb. Agree. Because someone was commenting here, did as the verb, I think. But for our complete verb, it's did not agree. Okay, very good. The correct answer here, it's obvious, all together. So sama-sama sila, the members of the committee move that the motion be reconsidered. Next, allusion versus illusion. I know you're familiar already with illusion. Perhaps itong allusion hindi masyado. So let's see the difference between the two. Baka kasi mamaya malito kayo kung ano bang difference nito. Kasi nga dahil na rin sa they sound the same. Allusion, it's an indirect reference. Pag sinabi nating indirect reference, it's like comparing something to something else that is familiar to everyone. Parang ako, for example, i-compare nyo ako sa isang tao na marami sa atin ay nakakakilala. That's it. That's an allusion. When we say illusion, of course, alam na natin ito. Illusion, di ba? It's unreal, deceptive, or it's a misleading appearance or image. For us to know whether you understood clearly the difference between the two, let's answer this. Number 1, the magician created the blank that he was levitating. What do you think? Is it allusion or illusion? It's so easy, right? Okay. Very good, no? It's so easy. What's our clue? First, who's the subject? Magician. What was the magician doing or creating? He was levitating. And obviously, it's an illusion? Let's have the second item. While the president's speech seems original, it contains unblank to a speech made by another world leader. Is it illusion or allusion? Ano po kaya ito? Allusion ba or illusion? Okay, it's so easy, right? Like what I said, allusion is being used as a way for us to compare something to something else that is familiar to everyone. Like this one. The president's speech seems original, but it contains an allusion. When they say allusion, meaning yung ibang part siguro ng speech ng leader na yon or ng president ay parang same doon sa isang speech ng isa pang world leader. That's the meaning of that. Okay? Okay po ba tayo? Let's have the next. A while versus a while. Is there a difference aside from the spacing? Let's see. A while is an adverb, which means for a while or for a short time. Well, a while means the same too. Ibig sabihin, parehas sila ng kahulugan. Pero magkaiba sila ng magkaiba kung kailan, no? Kung kailan natin sila gagamitin. Kailan ba ginagamit ang a while na walang space at kailan naman ginagamit ang a while na may space? Ginagamit natin ang a while na may space kapag ang while is used as the object of the preposition. Meaning, kapag meron tayong preposition, bago ito, then ito ang gagamitin natin. Like, in, on, for. Ano pang prepositions? If these prepositions are appropriate for this. Okay, you have, yan. So let's see kung wala naman ito ang gagamitin. Nakuha ba? Let's answer 1 and 2. 1 and 2. For number 1, is it this one or this one? Okay. So easy, right? Like what I said, you use this one when there's a preposition before it. So the answer here is this one. Well, the answer here, ito naman. Kasi nga, dito meron tayong preposition. Nakuha ba? Tama ba? Very good. So easy. Next. Amount versus number. Feeling natin magkaparehas ito. Pero meron pong pinagkaiba ang amount at number. What's the difference? Let's see. When we say amount, it means, well, it means something in bulk, diba? Things which are in bulk. The only difference between amount and number is when the things you're referring to is either or are either countable or uncountable. When it's uncountable, hindi mo nabibilang, then you have to use amount. But if it's something countable, then you need to use number. Kuha ba? Okay, let's see. Item number 1. Frida measured the blank of sugar she needed for the recipe. Is it amount or number? Okay, is it amount or number? Good evening. I think mayroon pa tayong mga kapapasok na participants. So magandang gabi sa inyo. Okay. Hintay ko yung inyong mga kasagutan. Very good. It's so easy, right? Frida measured the blank of sugar she needed for the recipe. Ano ba yung tinutukoy rito? Yung sugar. Is it countable or not? It's not countable. Hindi mo na bibilang ang asukal. Rather, pwede mo itong timbangin. Therefore, the answer is amount. How about number 2? Jerome underestimated the blank of work it takes to be a marine biologist. Is it amount or number? Is it amount or number? This time, nabibilang ba ang work or hindi? Based on the context here of the sentence. Good evening. We have a participant here coming from Negros Occidental. Yeah. Well, yung iba sa inyo binibilang ng trabaho. Okay. Okay, I think nalito tayo. I think in the previous words or in the previous pairs kasi parang obvious na sinasabi natin, yung unang item ay ito at ito naman yung second item kasi nga iba na magkaiba yung sagot. Pero hindi po. Ang tamang sagot dito ay amount po. Amount pa rin po. Why? Because amount or the work you do cannot be counted. Hindi mo pwedeng bilangin ang inyong trabaho. Binibilang ba? Hindi, di ba? You cannot count it. Therefore, the answer is amount. Let's have the third item. Nakala po kasi natin, dalawang items lang per slide. Hindi po. The third item, the blank of participants in this room is 50. Is it amount or number? Again, work cannot be counted. It's not countable. Okay. Sige po. What do you think? For number 3, I would appreciate if you also include the item number para at least ma-determine ko kung ang sinasagot pa rin po natin ay yung item number 1, number 2, or number 3. Okay? Ayan. This time it's so obvious that the answer is number, not amount. Ayan, number po. Okay, why? Because the number of participants is already 50. That's it. Next, I hope we're clear with the difference between amount and number. Let's proceed with all right and all right. What's the difference when they say all right? It's commonly used in written dialogue and informal writing, non-standard spelling, meaning these two mean the same. They mean the same. But the difference is that this one is being used in informal writing. This one is used in formal writing. Therefore, we always need to use this one. For this item, I won't require you anymore to answer this. It's because it's obvious that you always need to use all right and not this one. Do not use this expression in the civil service exam because this expression is a non-standard spelling of the expression all right. Okay, I'm not saying that it's wrong, but it's a non-standard expression or spelling. Are we clear? So always the answer is all right. It is all right with the group that you take your share in advance. Okay? Next. How about already versus already? This time, there's a difference between the meaning of these two words or expressions. This word and this expression, because already is a word, already is an expression. When we say already, it means by or before this time, even now. It's an adverb, meaning malapit ang matapos. Let's say we're already done, or sabihin na nating tapos na, we're already done. Katatapos pa lang. That's it, the meaning of it. Pag sinabi mo namang already, it's an expression which means ready. Lahat ay tapos na. Ay hindi, lahat ay handa na. That's it. Ulitin ko, pag sinabi nating already, it's an adverb which means katatapos pa lang. Pag sinabi nating already, it means lahat ay handa na. Okay? That's the meaning of it. So let's answer number 1. We are blank to listen. Sorry for that. To listen to the proposition. We are blank to listen to the proposition. Is it already or already? Okay. We are live. So I'm seeing all your answers in the chat box. Or not chat box, but in the comment section of our YouTube live. Very good. Ang ibig sabihin, ang tamang sagot po rito ay already. Already po. Lahat tayo ay handa na para makinig sa inyong proposition or sa inyong panig. That's it. How about item number 2? We have blank arrived at a decision. Is it already or already? What do you think is the correct answer? Already ba or already? We have already arrived at a decision. Yan. That's it. Yung iba kasi sumasagot pa lang sa item number 1, nahuhuli. Kumbaga dito sa seller screen, parang seller screen, di ba? Pag may mga nagla-live selling, nahuhuli yung mga sagot nila. Yan. Very good. The answer is this one. Ibig sabihin nito, tayo ay nakapag-desisyon na. Tayo ay nakapag-desisyon na. We have already arrived at a decision. That's the meaning of it. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, we have already. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin yun. Parang ibig mong sabihin ngayon, lahat tayo ay, lahat handa. Parang inulit mo. Okay? It's grammatically wrong. So hindi pwede yung already. Next. I hope we're clear with the difference between the two, already and already. Next. Between and among, is there a difference? Yes, of course, there's a difference. But do they function the same? Yes, they function the same. When we say between, it's for 2 things only. It's between you and me. Pag sinabi mong among, it's for 3 or more. Meaning, it's among us. It's among the reviewers. Pwede rin namang, it's not necessary that between 2 persons only. It could be 2 sides, like me as the lecturer and you as the reviewist. So I can use between. But when we're talking already about our individual differences, then we need to use among. Because we're already in separate units. 3 or more na yun. Yan. So let's see if you understood clearly the explanation between and among. Who blank the employees deserves the promotion? Ayan, lahat tayo ngayon, alam ko lahat kayo deserve ang promotion. Kaya nga nandito kayo at nagsusumikap, no? Sumasali sa ating YouTube live, nagre-review para paghandaan ng inyong inaasam na um, eligibility. What's this? Who blank the employees deserves the promotion? Is it between and among? Very good. The correct answer is among. Why? Kasi maraming employees yan. Hindi lang naman dalawa. Nakuha ba? I hope we're clear. Let's have the next item. Yung mga iba na nahuhuli, sige, sagot lang kayo ng sagot. Number 2, do not make me choose blank you and my mother. Is it between and among? Dali-dali, di ba? Is it between and or among? Okay. Very good. It's between. Between who? You and my mother. Do not make me choose between you and my mother because there are two persons involved already here, you and my mother. Okay, I hope we're clear with the difference between and among. Let's proceed to the next one. How about beside and besides? Aside from the S, what's the difference? Let's see. When we say beside, it is a preposition. Ibig sabihin, ito, beside. Dito, sabi ko, ano bang meron dito? Beside me. We're talking about the location of something. Pag sinabi natin besides, maliban sa. Okay? Maliban sa. Moreover, aside from, in addition. That's it. See? Number 1, blank my educational background, I was asked about my work experience. Bukod sa iyong, or bukod sa aking educational background, I was asked about my work experience. Is it beside or besides? What do you think? Okay, very good. The correct answer is, wait lang medyo matagal ang ating live chat. Okay, the correct answer is besides. Tama po. Maliban sa aking educational background, I was also about my work experience. How about number 2? How about number 2? My wife was blank me throughout the entire performance. Ano ba yan? Sawa mo? Ano yan, maliban sa yo or sa tabi? Maliban sa iyo or sa tabi? Kaya. Okay, tama po. It's beside. Ang ibig sabihin, ang aking wife ay nasa aking tabi throughout the entire performance. Perhaps yung nanonood kami, no? Kaya yon. Nasa tabi ko siya throughout the entire performance. By the way, I'm just contextualizing each sentence based of course on the text. So walang katuturan or walang katotohanan kung for example sinasabi ko my wife. Yeah. Next. How about borrow and lend? Is there a difference? Ayan, sa mga mahilig mangutang at magpautang. Is there a difference? Let's see. Pag sinabi nating borrow, it means to take or accept something for a short time with the intention of returning it to its rightful owner. Hiram, borrow. You borrow. Example ako, I borrow. When I say lend, you lend, ibigay. No? You give something. Okay? So they're totally opposite. Let's see if you know the difference or if you understood the difference. Let's answer number 1. Would you please blank me the book? Would you please blank me the book? Is it borrow or lend? Is it borrow or lend? Okay, it should be, would you please, what? Lend, no? What's it? Ibig sabihin, humihingi ka ng pabor na ipahiram sa'yo yung libro. Lend. Would you please lend me the book? You cannot say, would you please borrow me the book? It doesn't make sense. How about number 2? May I blank your book, please? May I blank your book, please? Is it borrow or lend? Yan. Tama pong sagot sa number 2 ay? Okay. It's okay. You just answer. Kung nahuhuli po tayo, sagot lang po tayo. Ang importante, sumasagot tayo. Very good. So the answer is borrow. May I borrow your book, please? Ikaw ay humihiram ng libro. I hope we're clear with the difference between borrow and lend. Let's have the next pair. How about bring and take? Is there a difference? Of course there is. When you say bring, it means you move, it refers to the movement towards someone or something. You bring. For example, I got here a paper, or I got here a face mask, no? And I bring it to where? I don't know. Where do I bring this? So I bring it there. Do I bring it there? Okay. How about, yes, I can bring it there. But when you say take, it's moving away from someone or something. Let's say you have my book. I have to take it. Kukunin ko sa'yo. Moving it away from you. That's take. Nakuha ba? I have here a book, for example. Let's say I have here a book. This book. Then I bring it to you. Yan. Nabigay ko na sa'yo. Now, after a few days, I have to take it from you. Kukunin ko sa'yo. That's the difference between bring and take. Let's see if you understood clearly the difference between bring and take. Let's answer this. Number 1. Sige, sagot lang po tayo. Nahuhuli ang ating huli ako dito. Okay. Very good. Nakuha natin. You cannot say take. You have to say bring. Dalhin mo. No? You cannot say take your instrument with you. Bring it with you when you come over. How about number 2? How about number 2? It's it bring or take. I'm happy seeing a lot of our participants answering in the YouTube live. Very good. Okay, it's so clear. It's take. Take your belongings with you when you're living. Oh, let's say you have your belongings with me, or your belongings in the area, and then you have to leave already, then you have to take it. Take all your belongings when you're living. You cannot say bring your belongings. That's not it. Because I'm the one talking here. Ako po ba? I hope we're clear with the difference between bring and take. Let's move to the next pair of words. How about breath and breathe? Is there a difference? Of course. Breath, well, parang parehas. Pero ito, magkaiba sa function. Breath is a noun, while breathe is a verb. Breath is what you take. It's what you let out. When you say breathe, it's what you do. You inhale, exhale. Okay? It's the parang difference ng advice at advice. Here, the only difference is, the differences are the pronunciation and of course the function. Let's answer number 1. Just calm down and breath or breathe. Okay. Nasa bring and take pa rin ba tayo? Sige. Breath or breathe. I hope we're learning. Though medyo mabagal tayo, pero at least, no, nare-retain kung ano man yung ating natututunan ngayong gabing ito. Breath and breathe. Very good. It's the action, right? Just come down and breathe. The answer is breathe. How about number 2? Take a deep breathe or take a deep breath. Nagkakalituhan na ata tayo. May mga iba sumasagot ng breath. May iba sumasagot ng breathe. Sabi ko nga, ang function ng isa ay iba sa isa. So, tandaan natin yan. Ano ito? Is it breath or breathe? Tamang sagot ay breath. It's so obvious. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. That's it. Just calm down and breathe. Well, they mean the same. But these two function differently. Okay? Next. How about this? They sound the same, side, side, side. So what's the difference? Let's see. When they say side, it's a verb. Ito ay, baka hindi pa natin masyadong na-master yung ating parts of speech. Pag sinabi nating verb, it's an action word. It's what you do. So pag sinabi nating sight, it's when you mention something. When we say sight, something to do with the eyesight. Yun lang, sight. When we say sight, the place, the location. If you know the differences, then let's answer this. The old man has a clear blank. The old man has a clear eye blank. Napakadali po nito. What is the answer? Okay. Very good. Tama pong sagot ay sight, of course. The old man has a clear eyesight. Next, blank an example for this rule. blank an example for this rule. Is it sight, sight, or sight? Okay. For number 2, that's it. Is it to mention something sin, or is it a location? Obviously, the answer is sight. How about number 3? We shall go to the blank of the proposed supermod. Is it sight, sight, sight? Sagot po tayo, sagot. For number 3. Okay, we're talking about the supermall. So saan ito ilalagay? So it's location. Answer is answer is site, referring to the location. We shall go to the site of the new or the proposed supermall. That's it. If you already understood the differences between are among yan ay marami, between and among, kasi you differentiate these two, you can also differentiate this, and you can differentiate the 3. So among the 3, then let's have the next one. How about complement and complement? How about complement and complement? When we say complement, it means, or it refers to something that completes or brings something to perfection. Or when it's a verb, when it complements something, then it completes something. That's the meaning of it. Complement, on the other hand, it's referring to an admiration, praise, or flattery. Compliment. Okay. Puri. That's it. If it's a verb, you pay compliment. You congratulate a person. You praise a person. You admire a person. That's it. So let's see. One of the hardest things to deal with is to react on a. One of the hardest things to deal with is to react on a compliment or compliment. Okay. One of the hardest things to deal with is to react on a. Do you react on a compliment or on a compliment? Nakakapag-react ka ba sa something that completes or to something that is considered to be an admiration, praise, or flattery? Sabi nga nila talagang ito napakahirap eh. Di ba ang hirap nito? Because you have to be, how do you stay humble? Kapag sinabi sa'yo ang isang praise or pag pinuri ka, kinongratulate ka, well, all you have to do is say thank you. That's the best way, I think. You don't say, marami ka pang palusot. Say thank you. Okay? So one of the hardest things to deal with is to react on a compliment, not a compliment. How about number 2? Red wine is a nice blank to a steak dinner. Is it complement or compliment? Okay. I think we're clear this time. Again, let me repeat the difference between the two. A complement is something that makes or that completes, completes. For example, ito at ito, Kapag nagsama, kompleto na sila. Kapag ikaw at siya nagsama, you're perfect. You complete each other. That's compliment. Kapag compliment, no? Kapag kayo magkasama, pinupuri mo siya, that's a compliment. So how do you make your relationship complete? Pay a compliment. You can use these two words in a sentence. The red wine is a nice complement. Combination. They're nice combination. Red wine and steak dinner. Yeah. Sarap. Next. How about continual and continuous? Minsan ito, hindi natin alam ang difference. But there is a big difference between the two. When we say continual, dito sa item na ito or dito sa pair of words na ito, hindi ko kayo pasasagutin. Kasi same sentence. Sasabihin ko lang kung ano ang ibig sabihin or pinagkaiba nila sa ibig sabihin. Pag sinabi nating continual, it's occurring again and again in succession. Meaning paulit-ulit yung bagay na yun. Nangyayari. Pag sinabi nating continuous, it's occurring without interruption. Kumbaga tuloy-tuloy, hindi nag-stop. Nakuha ba ang ibig sabihin? Let's see. Dito, for example, ang sabi, his continual tardiness causes dismissal from his post. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ang ibig sabihin nito, siya, his, no? Or yung kanyang patuloy na pagiging late, halos araw-araw, ulit-ulit, araw-araw, ay naging cause ng kanyang pagka-dismiss sa trabaho. Dito naman, his continuous absence, ibig sabihin, siguro magkakasunod na araw. Araw-araw yan. Walang araw na hindi siya nag-absent. Yan ang naging dahilan kung bakit siya na-dismiss sa trabaho. Okay, ulitin ko. Dito kasi, pwedeng continual tardiness, pwedeng ganito. This week, ngayong araw na to, late siya. Bukas, hindi. Nag-stop, di ba? Pero, inulit na naman. Monday, nag-absent. Monday na late. Tuesday, hindi. Wednesday, na late. Thursday, hindi. That's continual. Ibig sabihin, yung tardiness niya, inuulit-ulit niya gawin. Not necessary na sa sunod-sunod na araw. Pag sinabi mo naman continuous, araw-araw. Walang tigil. Mga Lunes, Martes, Miyerkules, Biyernes hanggang Biyernes. That's the reason. Okay? That's it. How about this? Dessert? Dessert or dessert? Well, there are three. When we say dessert with a single S, it means you leave or you abandon a place, you abandon your people, you desert. You deserted. Pag sinabi naman nating desert, it's a noun, same spelling dito, na ang ibig sabihin ay dry, barren, sandy region. Basically, desierto. That's it, desert. Desert, to forsake or to abandon something. Pag sinabi mo namang dessert, same pronunciation dito, dito. Ito ay pagkain na matamis at karaniwang kinakain natin pagkatapos ng ating lunch, dinner, ating meal. So ano kaya ang tamang sagot sa number 1? Is it dessert, desert, or dessert? Fruit makes a healthy dessert, desert, or dessert after lunch or dinner. Ayan. Well, it's so obvious what the answer is, right? It's fruit, referring to a food. Therefore, the answer is this. How about number 2? The largest blank in the world is the Sahara. Now, I'd like you to answer it with this one or this one if it's between the two. Dessert or desert? For number 2. Okay. This time it's a noun. We're referring to the Sahara desert. Therefore, this is the answer. How about for number 3? For number 3, soldiers should not desert their post. Well, we're looking for an action. And there's only one action word here. There's only one verb here. What's the answer for number 3? Answer is for number 3 is this dessert, no? Sounds dessert because it's a verb. Dessert now verb. Soldiers should not abandon their post. Soldiers should not desert their post. That's it. Ba? Okay, very good. Next, how about illicit versus illicit? Is there any difference? Let's see. When you say illicit, it's actually a verb, which means to draw forth or evoke. Ilabas. You elicit. You bring out. That's it. When we say illicit, it's an adjective. Meaning may dinedescribe siyang isang bagay, which means illegal. It means illegal. Let's answer this. The teacher blank Ed answers from the students. Is it illicit or illicit? Is it illicit or illicit? Okay? Ang tamang kasagutan po, nakikita ko po ang inyong mga sagot. Huwag po kayong mag-alala. Ayan. And I'm very happy to see that you're getting the correct answer. The teacher elicited. Why? Because we're looking for a verb in its past tense. And tandaan natin, wala naman ng ibang verb dito maliban sa elicit. Therefore, the answer is this. Okay? How about number 2? The police received an anonymous tip-off last Monday from the gun's blank owner. Is it illicit or illicit? For number 2, again, the meaning of illicit, it's a verb that means to draw forth, evoke, or to bring out. Well, illicit is an adjective, meaning it's a word used to describe a noun, right? Or a pronoun, which means unlawful or illegal. Therefore, the answer is illicit. Illicit owner or illegal owner. How about the next pair or the next set of words? Eminent, imminent, and immanent. Is there any difference among the three? Let's see. When you say eminent, it means prominent or famous. When you say imminent, it means threatening. When you say immanent, it has something to do with our with our existence. Existence. Again, eminent means famous. Imminent means threatening. Imminent means or imminent has something to do with our existence. That's answer number 1. This place has an old town hall, a theater, and several statues of blank men. Are they eminent, imminent, or immanent? Are these men eminent, imminent, or immanent? Okay, the correct answer here is eminent. Okay, prominent or famous man. You have to remember, tignan nyo yung clues, an old town hall, a theater, and several statues. Meaning, parang ano ito, maganda naman ang sinasabi. Di ba? So, we cannot say threatening. Rather, these are famous people. Wala namang statues dyan eh. Or statues ng mga taong yan. Hindi sila famous. How about this one? We as thinking, acting, being students of liberal arts must reconcile some things blank to our existence. Okay? Sagot lang po tayo. What is the correct answer? The correct answer is, mahuli po kasi yung aking comment section dito sa ating YouTube live. Okay. Ang tamang sagot ay immanent. Why? Like what I said, is something to do with our existence. Okay? Again, the meaning of immanent, it exists within or is inherent to something else, often used in reference to spiritual or otherwise non-material things. Okay? Yeah. How about number 3? The conclusion overall is that there's no concrete evidence of blank attacks in this country. Again, if you look at it, it seems like the statement or the sentence, it has a negative connotation or has a negative meaning. And among the 3, there's only one which has a negative meaning, which is the word imminent. Therefore, the correct answer for number 3 is imminent. Nakuha po ba? I hope we're clear with the differences among the 3, eminent, imminent, and immanent. Therefore, let's move to the next item. How about farther and further? Is there any difference? Of course there is. When we say farther, it refers to the space. It refers to the distance. Malayo, farther. You're comparing the distance between your house to my house, which is farther from the city. That's it. Pag sinabi mo namang further, furthermore, meaning more pa, to a greater degree, that's it. So what's the answer for number 1? He decided to go ahead without any blank delay. Is it farther or further? Are we talking about distance or are we talking about something with more? Okay, that's it. Well, we're talking about something more. Okay, he decided to go ahead without any more delay. Therefore, any further delay. Yan. How about number 2? His house is blank than John's. Sabi niya, ang bahay nila ay blank kay John. Anong sagot? It's so obvious. Right? For number 2, anong sagot? We're talking about the distance of the house, of his house, comparing it to John's. Therefore, the answer is farther. Okay? I hope we're clear. Let's move to the next pair of words. How about disinterested and uninterested? Is there any difference? Yes. Is there any difference? Yes. Aside from this and on. Mayroon pong nagkaiba yan. Kung ngayon ay hindi ka interesado, you are uninterested. So ano kaya ang disinterested? Tignan natin. When you say in disinterested, you are impartial, unbiased. Hindi ka biased. You're objective. Pag sinabi mo namang uninterested, hindi ka interesado. So kung titignan natin ang kahulugan ng dalawa, talagang totally magkaiba. Okay? Talagang totally magkaiba. So let's answer this. This student is blank in chemistry. Is this student disinterested or uninterested? Is this student unbiased or not interested? Yung estudyante ba ay hindi biased or hindi interesado sa chemistry? Which is more appropriate? Nasagutan? It's uninterested. This student is uninterested in chemistry. Hindi siya interesado sa chemistry. Sorry for chemistry. It should be capital. It starts with capital letter. Chemistry. How about number 2? A or an blank mediator help settle the dispute. How about number 2? We're talking about a mediator. And that mediator helped settle the dispute. What's the answer? The answer is disinterested. Okay? Why? Because the mediator was unbiased in helping settle the dispute. Okay? That's it. The answer is disinterested. I hope we're clear with the difference between disinterested and uninterested. Let's have its and its. Is there any difference aside from this? Well, there's a total difference. There is. When we say it's a possessive pronoun. Possessive. It's book, for example. Or it's organization. Meaning, yun ay isang pag-aari ng isang entity. That's it. Pag sinabi mo namang it's a contraction it's a contraction of it is. So kapag nakita nyo ito, kailangan isipin lang ninyo maganda bang pakinggan kapag it's na mayroong apostrophe. Kasi kung hindi, ito dapat. At saka kung may bagay na parang pinopossess, then that's it. Ito dapat. So, tignan natin. The dog will only eat its food when I'm also eating. Is it it's with no apostrophe or it's with apostrophe? Okay, tamang sagot. The dog will only eat its because it's the food of the dog. It's a possession of the dog. It's the food of the dog. How about number 2? Blank a very strange dog. Maganda ba? It's na walang apostrophe or merong apostrophe. At kapag may apostrophe, isipin mo, it is a very strange dog. Tignan mo rito, the dog will only eat it is food. Hindi maganda, di ba? Pakinggan. At hindi appropriate. Therefore, hindi yun ang sagot sa number 1. For number 2, the correct answer is, so obvious, it's na contraction ng it is. It is a very strange dog. Okay? Let's move to the next pair of words. Loose and loose. Is there any difference aside from the additional O? There is. There is a big difference. When we say lose, it's a verb, which means to fail. Matalo. If you lose this battle, then you're lost. Pag sinabi mo namang lose, it's an adjective which means not tight. For example, I'm wearing a loose pants or I'm wearing a loose shirt, ibig sabihin maluwang. That's the meaning of loose na double O. Pag loose na single O, then it means to fade. So let's answer this. How many games did your team blank last season? Ano mas appropriate, yung single O or double O? Okay? Sagutan? Tingnan natin. We're talking about games. So which is more appropriate? It's a game. Diba? It's this one. How many games did your team lose last season? How many games did your team lose last season? Okay. Next. How about I've blanked 20 pounds and now these jeans are really blank? Ito. Dalawa ang sagot. Baka nalilito kayo. 2. Tignan nyo rin yung tense ng verb. Ibig sabihin, merong kasagutan dito na ganito. Pero tignan niyo kung ang verb ba yan ay present tense, future tense, or past tense. Dito muna tayo. Okay? Now, these jeans are maluwang. Tama? Ito. Ito naman, dito. I've lost, tama ba? Okay. Ito ay contraction ng I plus have. Diba? At kapag ang sumusunod rito ay verb, kailangan ang verb na yan ay naka-past participle. Past participle. What's the base form of lose? Lose. What's the past tense of lose? Lost. Natalo. What's the past participle of lose? Lost pa rin. So lose, lost, lost. Therefore, ito dapat ay lost. That's the correct answer. Ako po ba? Are we clear? I hope we're clear with the difference between the two. So let's have the next. How about proceed and proceed? Well, there is a difference. When we say proceed, to be, come, or go before in time, place, order, rank, or importance. We're talking about the order. Order, proceeded. Parang ito yung sumusunod. Yan. Pag sinabi na nating proceed, pumunta. You proceed, you go. You go on. Sige, go. So let's see. How about number 1? After your first assignment has been completed and approved, you may blank to the second one. Anong gagawin mo? You proceed or proceed? Well, it's so obvious what the answer is. It should be proceed. You proceed. You proceed to the second one. How about number 2? The election of a new president, blank his inauguration. Anong ibig sabihin? Di ba order? Talking about order. The election of a new president preceded or precedes. Dapat yan. Sinusundan ng kanyang inauguration. The election of a new president precedes his inauguration. That's it for number 2. And it has an S here because our subject here is singular. And the singular form of precede is precedes with S. The plural form is precede. And we all know that this one is singular. You'll know this you'll know more about this once you talk about subject verb agreement. Yan. Or pwede rin namang preceded. Let's have stationary and stationary. Is there any difference? Yes, there's a big difference. Pag sinabi mong stationary, hindi it's fixed, not moving. Pag sinabi not moving, pag sinabi mong stationary, it's a writing material. It's an object. It's a paper, basically. Now, let's answer this. My mother or my grandmother has given me a lot of stationery over the years. I think she wants me to use it to write her. Our clue, write. So what are you writing, or what are you using for, or what do you use for writing? Is it a stationary or stationary? Sige lang po, sagot. Okay, answer is stationary. Obvious, it's a writing material. How about number 2? I rode the blank bike at the gym for an hour. So this word describes the bike. Ano yung bike? Ngayon. It's not moving, therefore it's stationary. Nakuha po ba yung difference between stationary and stationary? I hope we're clear. Let's have the next. How about there? Meron bang pagkakaiba itong tatlong ito? Meron. Malaking pagkakaiba. At karamihan sa atin nagkakamali, lalo-lalo na dito sa dalawang ito. Okay? Kapag sinabi nating there, it's an adjective or it's a pronoun, a possessive pronoun, which refers to, or which is used to refer to something that you not belong to, or which is that belongs to you, and belonging to something, made by something, or done by people. When we say there, you're talking about parang there, that place or point, parang doon, or hindi lang laging lugar hindi lang there na lugar. Pwede rin yang there are participants, or there are papers here, there are words here that I would like to share. So you're referring to something, but not necessarily na you're possessing them. Unlike with this one, there. Yung sa kanila, yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Kapag there naman, it's a contraction. Sila ang. Yun ang ibig sabihin nito. Sila ang. So kapag meron ito, ang gawin nyo ulit, ihiwalay nyo. They are. Appropriate ba? Sipin ninyo. Let's see. Just put it over blank. Ano yan? There, or there. Are you referring to something na pag-aari? Or are you referring to a place kung saan ipupunta? Or contraction ba ito ng silaang? Isipan nating mabuti. Okay? Just put it over there. Therefore, you're pointing to something. It's a place where you need to place that book, for example, or that object. Therefore, this is the answer. How about number 2? They were proud of blank work. Sila ay proud sa kanilang trabaho. Or sila ay proud sa kanilang, that's it. Work. Is it there, or there? Sila ay, pwede mo na itong i-contraction, they're proud of their work. So ginagamit ito kapag ito ay pagmamay-ari or belonging to someone or something. So itong work na ito ay sa kanila. Yun yun. How about number 3? Blank going out to dinner tonight. Sinong lalabas mag-dinner? O di sila, therefore, ito yun. They're going out to dinner. I hope we're clear? Okay. So let's now have which and that. Is there any difference between which and that? There is. Which is used with non-essential clause, while that is used with essential clause. Okay. Ito, sagutin ko na. There's no need for you to answer this. Para at least ma-determine nyo kung kailan ginagamit ang which at kailan ginagamit ang that. Kapag ang isang bagay or ang isang phrase ay importante, then gamamit ka ng that. Kasi kapag inalis mo ito, pwedeng medyo mawalan ng sense yung sentence. Ito ay that. Clue, ito. So ito, which. That's the reason why it's a non-essential clause. So ito, kahit alisin mo, pwede pa rin. Sabi niya, ito, ang ibig sabihin, hindi ito ganun ka-essential. Ito, essential daw. Kasi nga, walang dalawang comma at part yan ng isang buong sentence. Clue, napakasimple, may comma. Between and after, before and after that clause. That's when you use which, and that's when you use that. How about lay versus lie? Is there any difference between lay and lie? There is. When we say lie, or when it's an intransitive verb, which means to recline or rest on a surface. Its principal parts are lie, lay, lay. When I lie, iba naman ang ibig sabihin ng lie na nagsisinungaling. At iba naman ang ibig sabihin ng lie na humiga. When you lay naman, when you lay something, ay nilalagay mo ito sa isang surface at iyo itong, for example, itong libro, I lay it on the table. Okay, I lay it on the table. And I lie. Ibig sabihin, humihiga ako. That's it. So, item number 1, chickens, ano ito? Lie or lay? They lay eggs. Why? Because they put those eggs on for example, on the nest. Diba? They lay eggs. They don't lie eggs. While this one, I lie down when I am tired. Humihiga ako pag pagod ako. Ako ba? I hope we're clear with this too. How about capital versus capital? Is there any difference between capital and capital? Of course. When we say capital, you're talking about a city. It's the center of a province. When we say capital, you're referring to the building, the capital in the capital city. Ako ba? Do you have a capital in your place? Where's your capital? It's in our capital. Okay? Therefore, item number 1, the capital. You're referring to the building. The capital has undergone extensive renovations. Well, for number 2, the residents of the state capital. The residents of the state capital processed the development plans. You're referring already to the place. Okay, do we have more? We also have climactic and climatic. Is there a difference? Yes, there is a difference. When we say climactic, You're talking climax. Climax. Ito yung kumbaga, 'di ba sa istorya, meron tayong rising action. Yung parang pinaka-peak, yung pinaka punto ng excitement mo, yun yung climax. At ang bagay na yon kapag dinescribe mo yung feeling na yon, it's climactic. There is intensity. Pag sinabi mo namang climatic, you're referring to the climate. Ito. The climactic period in the dinosaurs' reign was reached just before severe climatic conditions. Because here you're talking already about the climate. Here you're talking about the period, the climactic period during the dinosaurs' reign. Okay, I hope we're clear with that. Okay? How about emigrate from versus immigrate from? Or immigrate to, sorry for that. Emigrate from versus immigrate to. When we say emigrate, it begins with the letter E, it's so obvious, which means exit. You exit a country. You emigrate from Russia. Many wants to immigrate to the US. So kapag ako, for example, I want to emigrate from the Philippines. Meaning, aalis ako ng Philippines. And I would like to immigrate to Canada or to US or to France or to Australia. Yan. Nakuha ba? So ito, immigrate, emigrate. At tatandaan, emigrate laging from kasi galing ka sa lugar na pinanggalingan mo. Immigrate laging to kasi pupunta ka doon sa lugar na lilipatan mo. Okay? I hope you're clear with that. Do we still have the time? Am I allowed to continue? Am I allowed to continue our lecture? Our facilitator, Sir JR. Tuloy po ba natin? Okay. Sige, tuloy natin. So we're done with correct usage. There are more words which differ in terms of spelling, meaning, etc. Form, function, etc. Yes, let's go ahead. Now, aside from these words, another type of test that you might encounter, or that you will encounter for sure in the civil service exam are vocabulary types of tests. Marami. Especially, you know, those with the or those words that are not, or that not, those words that will not be used in a sentence. That's the difficult ones. Now, the easier ones are those in sentences. And what I want to teach you is a strategy for you to answer vocabulary questions which are, or in which the word is being used in a sentence. And one way for us, or the best way for us to determine the meaning of the word is through the use of context clues. Kapag sinabi natin context clues, ito yung mga clues, di ba? From the word clues. Ito yung mga clues na nakikita rin natin mismo doon sa pangungusap. In order for us to know or to determine the meaning of the unfamiliar word. Meron mga iba't ibang uri ng context clues. We have definition or description clues, sample clues, synonym, contrast, mood, analysis, inference, at saka cause and effect. Now, if I discuss all of this, it will take a lot of time. Now, I would focus on the following: definition, synonym, antonym, and inference and cause and effect. Ito, wag na natin masyado ito kasi parang mako-cover na rin ito ng synonyms. Ito rin at saka ito. Okay? Kasi ito yung mga pinaka-common, lalo na itong synonyms at saka antonyms. These are the most common clues that can be found in sentences. Okay? So let's start with the first type of clue, which is the definition or description clue. In these sentences, his emaciation, that is, his skeleton-like appearance, was frightening to see, and the duden, a short-stemmed clay pipe, is found in Irish folktales, are sentences which have description or definition clues. For example, this one, our clue in this sentence is this: skeleton-like appearance. On the other hand, for this word, our clue is this phrase: a short stem clay pipe. Therefore, once we try to determine the meaning of these two words, ito ang magiging basihan natin. Okay? Explain ko muna bago tayo sumagot ng mga items. Ang gusto ko lang ipunto rito, ang kasagutan, minsan or palagi, kapag nasa sentence yung unfamiliar word, nandoon rin mismo sa sentence. Hindi natin dapat hinahanap yan sa ating sariling karanasan lang, kundi dapat kailangan tayong magbase doon sa konteksto ng sentence kasi nandoon ang kasagutan. We also have here example clues, piscatorial for example. Ito raw ay mga examples ng piscatorial creatures. On the other hand, ito namang atrophied, ang example nito ay appendix. So yun. Now, let's have the synonym clues or synonym restatement clues. Ito marami. Ang tertuous, for example, ano kayang ibig sabihin yan? Here are some of the synonyms of tertuous. Winding, not winding, winding and twisting. These are the synonyms of the word tertuous. Therefore, kapag sumagot tayo, ang hahanapin natin ay yung malapit sa mga salitang ito. Same is true with item number 2. Ito, cynosure. I'm not very certain about the pronunciation. Cynosure. Ang synonym nito ay focus. The focus of all attention. Therefore, kapag tayo ay naghanap ng ibig sabihin nitong salitang ito, ito yung magiging basihan natin. Nakuha ba? I hope we're clear. So, okay? Now, we also have antonyms. Ito, medyo magfo-focus ako ngayon dito kasi baka malito kayo. Meron tayong dalawang salita rito, dilate and taciturn. Dilate is the opposite of contract. Sabi rito, when the light brightens, kapag ang ilaw ay lumiliwanag, the pupils of the eyes contract. However, when it grows darker, these are opposite words, right? This can serve as our clue. They dilate. So ang mga pupils ng ating mga mata ay ito ang nangyayari. Kapag maliwanag, nagko-contract. Kapag madilim, nagdadilate. So anong ibig sabihin ng salitang ito? They are opposite. Therefore, what we need to do is find the opposite or the antonym of the word contract. Okay? So dilate means the opposite of contract. Hanapin ngayon natin alin sa mga sumusunod na options ang kasalungat ng salitang contract. Please pay attention to our discussion because after this, there are items which you need to answer. And there you need to apply the clues here. The clues. On the other hand, for the next item, taciturn, meron tayong opposite ng salitang ito, which is a lively conversationalist. Now, bakit hindi reserve? Kasi yung reserve na salita, that's the synonym. Dahil nga tayo ay gumagamit ng and. Let me read the sentence. The children were as different as day and night. He was a lively conversationalist, but she was reserved and taciturn. Okay? But she was reserved and taciturn. That's it. Okay? Therefore, the opposite of taciturn is lively conversationalist. May formula tayo para ma-determine kung ang isang salita ba ay kasing kahulugan or kasalungat ng isa pang salita. Kapag gumamit tayo ng and, expect nyo na yan na ito, salitang nandito ay synonyms yan. Okay? Pero kapag gumamit ka na ng but, gumamit ka na ng however, you expect that this statement is the opposite of this statement. So, antonyms na yan. Nakuha ba? Ulitin ko. Kapag nakita nyo yung and, most likely, synonyms na yan. Kapag nakita nyo yung but, nakita nyo yung however, antonyms na yan. Okay? So hanapin mo ngayon ano ba ang kasalungat ng salitang lively conversationalist. Lively conversationalist daw. Let's skip that one and this one too. Let's have inference 2. Ito, I'm through with blind dates forever. What a dull evening. I was bored every minute. The conversation was absolutely vapid. So what's the meaning of this word? What are our clues? Dull, bored. So what kind of conversation is this? It's uninteresting because it's a boring, no? Boring conversation. You're bored every minute. It's a dull evening. So you're making now a conclusion that the conversation was absolutely not interesting. That's it. We also have cause and effect. Ito napakadali kasi ng example natin dito. Meron tayong cause, meron tayong effect. Kung ang cause, tandaan ito, kung ang bagay na ginagawa mo or kung ang bagay na kung ang dahilan ay maganda or kung ang dahilan ay positive, kailangan ay effect ay positive din. You don't expect that a positive cause will have a negative effect. It's always parallel. If there's a negative cause, then there's a negative effect. Like this one, she wanted to impress all her dinner guests. So what did she do? She studied the necessary culinary arts. Therefore, we expect that this word means something good, not something negative. It's either neutral or good. So we could say that the meaning of the culinary of the word culinary is food preparation. Why? Because she wanted to impress all her dinner guests. These are just clues. Once you take the test or once you take the exam, it's not necessary that you determine kung ano yung clue, pero at least alam ninyo or aware kayo na itong mga clues na ito ay nag-i-exist sa mga sentences para at least kapag sumagot kayo, meron kayong basihan at hindi lamang base sa inyong guess or base sa inyong haka-haka Pwede kayong mag-guess sa mga items na talagang wala man lang tayong clue. Pero dito sa mga items na ganito, kung saan mayroon tayong mga sentences na kung saan ang salita ay mayroong kasing kahulugan, kasalungat, mayroong cause-effect clues, mayroong inference clues. Aba, gamitin nyo yun bilang isang oportunidad para matulungan kayong i-determine kung ano ba talaga ang kahulugan ng unfamiliar word na yon. So let's now try to answer the following items. Number 1. I'd like you to type 1A, 1B, 1C, or 1D. Huh? Okay. Palit tayo sa ating YouTube live. Sorry for that. So I can see your responses. Ayan. Okay. Ayan, sumasagot na sila. Sabi rito, my brother said I just freed myself from a very loquacious history professor. All he seemed to want was an audience. What type of clue? There's no need for us to determine what type of clue. But rather, what we need to do is determine ano ba yung ating clue? Ano ba yung ating clue? Ano yung ating clue? Ito. Yan. All he seemed to want was an audience. That's the clue. So kapag ang isang history professor ba, gusto niya, no? Gusto niya laging may audience. Lagi niyang may takapakinig. Ano yan? Pretentious ba siya? Parang hindi naman, di ba? So eliminate that. Grouchy ba siya? Some of us don't understand the meaning of this. Pwede nating eliminate. Talkative ba siya? Pwede. Worried ba siya? All he seemed to want was an audience. Seems like the professor was confident. Therefore, hindi. That's the correct answer? Very good. You got it correctly. Letter C. You cannot say pretentious because we don't have any clues that would tell us na ang professor, ang history professor gusto niya ay nagpre-pretend siya. Walang any clue, di ba? Ang atin dito, all he seemed to want. Talkative, gusto niyang magsalita eh. Okay, number 2. There is no doubt that the idea of living in such a benign climate was appealing. The islanders seemed to keep their vitality and live longer than Europeans. That's it. 2A, 2B, 2C, or 2D. The last sentence is the clue. Ayan. Tingnan na natin. Is the last sentence our clue? Tingnan natin. Medyo ito. Okay, let's now answer. The word is benign. What do you think is the meaning of benign? And the one being described here is the climate. Well, our clues are the following. Sabi rito, the benign climate was appealing. So we can have appealing as our clue, meaning the word is something positive because it's appealing. And another clue, perhaps, is this one. The islanders seem to keep their vitality and live longer than the Europeans. Let's now try to eliminate. We're talking about climate. Is it tropical? Pwede. Is it not malignant? Hindi naman natin pinag-uusapan rito ang, for example, it's a tumor. Hindi naman yun ang pinag-uusapan natin. Therefore, hindi yan. Kind climate, mabait. Appropriate ba? Kind climate, mabait. Parang hindi appropriate. Favorable. Is it a favorable climate? Pwede. Kasi appealing. Now, what are your answers? Most of you answered A. But there are two options here that are left. Tropical or favorable. Which is the better answer? Is it tropical or favorable? Well, I won't blame you if your answer is A, because we're talking about climate, and we have here islanders as our second clue. But benign has nothing to do with tropical season. Benign is closer to appealing. Therefore, the correct answer is not letter A, but letter D. Ito medyo mahirap kasi nga ang dami nating clues for tropical. But if you look now at your dictionary, benign is closer to appealing and not to the islanders or not to the climate and not really to a tropical climate. Okay, sorry for this. The answer is letter D. It's good, no? It's good that at least ang ang sinasagot niyo yung mga malalapit na sagot talaga. Hindi yung B or C. Kasi kung B or C kayo, sigurado wala na. Mahirap na yan. At least kung A or D, you have the chance of getting the correct answer. Answer is letter D. How about this? It is difficult to imagine a surfeit of talent in one individual. Yet Leonard Bernstein simply does not have the time to make complete use of his talent as conductor, performer, writer, and lecturer. Excess, variety, superiority, or luck. What is the meaning of surfeit? What do you think is the meaning of surfeit? Okay, let's try to analyze. Sabi rito, mahirap daw i-imagine ang surfeit of talent sa isang tao. Pero, itong si Leonard Bernstein, wala raw siyang oras para gamitin lahat ng talent na ito bilang isang conductor, performer, writer, and lecturer. Translate ko lang eh. Pero bakit kaya? Ano kayang dahilan? Bakit na-describe na surfeit yung talent ni Leonard Bernstein? Okay, let's analyze. Kasi nga daw, simple wala na siyang oras para gamitin ng lahat ng kanyang talento. Kung wala na siyang oras para gamitin ang lahat ng kanyang talento, anong ibig sabihin nito? Ang kanya bang talento ay sobra-sobra? Excess? Ang kanya bang talento ay variety? Marami? Pwede? Ang kanya bang talento ay superior? Ibig sabihin ay mas siya ang, kumbaga, siya ay naiiba? Siya ay sa lahat? Siya ang the best? Pwede? Or pwedeng wala siyang talento? Parang malayo eh. Kasi ang dami na niyang talento, sasabihin mo pang wala. Di ba? So alisin natin ito. Now, it's among the three. A, B, or C. A, B, or C tayo. Now, meron tayong condition dito. wala na raw siyang oras para gamitin ang mga talentong ito. Kapag wala ka ng oras para gamitin ang talento mo, ibig sabihin ba sobra-sobra ang talento mo? Pwede. Kapag wala ka ng oras para gamitin ang talento mo, is it necessary? For example, ako, conductor, performer, writer, lecturer. Pero marami. Pero kaya ko namang gawin lahat. Diba? So, hindi variety. May mga tao na variety ang kanilang talent, pero still, they have the time to do it. Or they have the time to use it. Superior. Meron bang point of comparison? On the other hand, if you look at it, surfeit is an adjective describing the talents of this person. And this one is a noun. The rest are adjectives. Therefore, superiority is not the best answer. What's the best answer? It's letter A. Sobra-sobra ang kanyang talento. Kaya wala na siyang oras para gamitin ito. That's it. Nakuha ba natin ang tama? Seems like nalito tayo. That's correct. We have here a comment. Hindi po siya versatile sa lahat ng uri ng talents. That's correct. That's a possible reason. We don't know. Kasi hindi naman stated dito. Pero ang pagkakaalam ko, base na rin dito, sobra-sobra na ang kanyang talento. Okay? Answer is letter A. How about this? Many years before Caesar's, men had tried and failed to invade Britain. No doubt, this contributed to the xenophobia of the Romans. They were cautious about strangers to enter their country. Napakadali naman nito. Once you see phobia, you already know. Paano lang kung lahat. Basta, pag phobia, fear na yan. Okay? Ito, wag na natin sagutin kasi alam na natin na ganang sagot eh. Tapos dito, they were cautious about strangers to enter their country. Therefore, the answer is letter B. Ang mahirap rito kung lahat ay fear of. What's your clue now na ito ang best answer? Ito. So these people were outside their country. And these people are considered to be foreigners. That's your clue. Next. Number 5. Such are the vicissitudes of history. Nothing remains the same. 300 years of peace ended in darkness and confusion. What do you think is the answer for number 5? Okay, let's try to analyze. Such are the vicissitudes of history. Nothing remains the same. Basically, this is a clue. When nothing remains the same, 300 years of peace ended in darkness and confusion. This is another possible clue. So, alin dito ang malapit? Evils, mistakes, changes, or rules? Basically, rules is not an answer. Such are the rules of history. Because we don't have any clue here that would tell us that this word has something to do with rules. But perhaps it has something to do with evils, mistakes, or changes. Evils for this one, mistakes for this one too, changes for nothing remains the same. So which is the best answer? Now, if you try to analyze it, this statement cannot be attributed to evils and mistakes. But this statement can be attributed to evils and mistakes. This statement, ito lang, changes. Ito, hindi pwede rito. Ito, pwede. Yung dalawang to. Now, hindi lang naman itong dalawang ito ang clue. Itong sentence na ito. 300 years of peace ended in darkness and confusion. Does it show any change? Yes. The change of peace ending in darkness and confusion. So there is a change. Therefore, the answer is letter C. Letter C po ang kasagutan. Very good. Next, number 6. We just end until item number 10. Huwag kayong mag-alala kasi marami pang exercises. Meron tayong, I think, CBRC is offering books for civil service exam. You avail the books or you avail the book so you can practice more answering questions like this. Number 6, a combination of fog and industrial smoke called smog has vitiated the air in and around many big cities. Concentrate, fill up, replace, contaminate. Let's now try to analyze para mabilis. Tapos habang ina-analyze natin, sumagot kayo. A combination of fog and industrial smoke. Fog, industrial smoke. Maganda ba ito? Parang hindi. So pag pinag-combine mo raw yan, pag nag-combine yung fog at saka industrial smoke, ang tawag dyan ay smog. And it has vitiated the air in around many big cities. Question. Concentrated ba? Fill up, replace, contaminate. Concentrate. Di ba pag concentrate, well, we're not talking about the person. Pero pag sinabi natin concentrate, ay parang yung concentration niya parang what do you mean this? Parang mataas, gano'n, like that. It's more of applicable to medicine, parang gano'n eh, pag concentrate. Fill up naman, hindi pwedeng fill up kasi we're talking about the air. Ang fill up kasi, it's like a bucket, for example. May bucket ka, then lalagyan ng tubig, that's fill up. You fill up with water. So it's not possible. We cannot have A or B. Replace, hindi mo naman pwedeng i-replace ang hangin. Rather, it just nagmi-mix lang yan. So masama lang yan sa hangin. Therefore, kinontaminate niya yung hangin. Very good. You got it correctly. It's letter D. How about number 7? Palapis na tayo, last 3 items. Well, Jenny failed to include the main points in her presentation. I still gave her extra credit for her zeal and passion. Napakadali naman ito. Number 7. Okay, let's now try to analyze. While Jenny failed to include the main points in her presentation, I still gave her extra credit for her zeal and passion. Sabi ko nga kanina, pag nakita nyo yung and, ibig sabihin nito, yung dalawang salitang to, ay synonym sila. Synonym yung dalawang salitang yan, zeal and passion. Question, alin sa mga sumusunod ang may pinakamalapit sa passion? When you say you have the passion, you have the urge. No? Is it work? Is it enthusiasm? Or is it capability? Does it mean that, the answer is letter B, enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the closest to passion. You cannot say work because work is a neutral word. It's neither positive nor negative. So you cannot have work. Same is true with capability. Capability is neither positive or negative. Pwede namang positive. Because you're talking about capability. But the more positive word here is, or the most appropriate word here is enthusiasm. Zeal and enthusiasm. That's correct. Very good. How about number 8? Ayan. Number 8 tayo. Last three items. Because children tend to be impulsive, their guardians make decisions for them until they become of legal age. Let's now try to answer, or let's try to analyze. You see because, you see since, once you see since, you see because. Ang clue na yan, cause effect. Ano ang cause? Ito. Dahil daw, ang mga bata, they tend to be impulsive. Ang mga magulang, ang mga guardians, kailangan magdesisyon para sa kanila until sila ay maging 18. Kasi yun ang legal age. Bakit kaya kailangan magdesisyon ang mga magulang or guardians para sa kanilang mga anak? Are they incautious? Pwede. Is it because they are unpredictable? Pwede. Is it because they are young? Dahil lang sa bata, kailangan magdesisyon ka na. Yan ang lagi nilang sinasabi. Pero mas may malalim na dahilan. So medyo doubt tayo dito. Dahil ba sila ay moody? Ang moody naman, pagiging moody, it doesn't depend on the age. Pwede rin namang bata, pwedeng matanda, pwedeng ikaw, moody ka. So, hindi natin sigurado. So it's between incautious and unpredictable. But which is more appropriate? Is it incautious or unpredictable? Dahil ba sila ay incautious, kaya kailangan magdesisyon tayo para sa kanila? Or dahil sila ay unpredictable, kaya kailangan natin magdesisyon para sa kanila? They are more of incautious. Incautious po sila. You cannot say unpredictable because everything is unpredictable. Everyone is unpredictable. Rather, they are incautious. Hindi pa sila ganun kaingat sa kanilang mga desisyon sa buhay. You cannot say unpredictable because everybody can be unpredictable. Diba? You cannot say young, neither moody, because moody is also appropriate. Is good for is a term that can be true to all ages. 9 tayo. Our baseball team's pitcher has a few eccentric habits such as throwing exactly 13 warm-up pitches and never wearing socks. What are these? Or what is the answer? Rather, normal, strange, messy. Let me explain it while you're answering. Sabi rito, yung pitcher nila ng baseball ay merong mga habits na ganito. Eccentric. At ito yon. Pag nakita mo yung such as examples ito yung mga habits niya. Throwing exactly 13 warm-up pitches and never wearing socks. Normal ba ito? Hindi, di ba? Strange ba ito? Oo, ang strange. Bakit kaya? Di ba? Napapaisip ka bakit yung ginagawa yan? Messy kaya? Dahil lang nakita mo na hindi siya nagwe-wear ng socks, messy na. Ito, messy ba ito? Hindi naman. Pero strange. Therefore, the answer is letter B po. Hindi po C. B. B po yan. B po. Just to be sure. Yan. B po tayo. Okay? And of course, the last item, after the heavy rains, the stream became murky. In fact, the water was so cloudy you couldn't see the bottom. Is it cloudy, bottomless, or clear? Ito napakadali. Don't have to think of it. This is our last item. Okay, sabi rito after the heavy rains, the stream became murky. Katapos ng malakas na ulan, ito pa lang, dito pa lang kahit wala ito, alam mo na ang sagot eh. Umulan ng malakas, therefore, yung daloy ng tubig ay naging murky. Anong ibig sabihin? Ano bang nangyayari? Nagiging malabo. Hindi pwedeng clear. Hindi rin pwedeng bottomless. Napaka-inappropriate naman ito. Tsaka there's no such term in English. Filipinos lang ang mahilig nito. Cloudy. That's the answer. It's also there, oh. So there's no need for you to think of it. Okay? I hope We're clear with that. And you got something from the lecture that we have had this evening on correct usage and vocabulary. If you have any questions or concerns, of course, meron pa. Now, what you need to do is, of course, practice more, practice more. That's the best thing to do if you really want to pass or even top a civil service examination. What can I say? Again, thank you so much for joining here. I hope that one or more of the items that we discussed this evening will come out later on in the civil service exam. Thank you so much. And again, in behalf of the Review Center, Carl Balita Review Center, I would like to thank all of you for joining us. And I hope that you also tell our other civil service exam takers to join our next review sessions for the civil service examination offered by Carl Balita Review Center. We are very blessed, we are very lucky that we're having this now. And like what I'm telling you, the best thing to do for you to pass or top is to practice. And there's another P, and pray. Yeah. Maraming salamat po, magandang gabi. Medyo nasobrahan na natin ng oras. Medyo mabagal kasi tayo. Pero alam ko, no, na at least meron kayong nakuha or napulot sa ating lecture for this evening. Thank you so much. Nababasa ko lahat-lahat ng inyong comments sa ating YouTube live. Sir JR? All the way from La Union. Thank you so much. Sir JR? Ibantan natin si Sir JR. God bless po sa ating lahat. Ayan, shout out from Quezon City. Shout out po sa ating mga kababayan dyan sa Quezon City. Ma'am Mary Ann, Sir John, Edson Go. We also have a participant, Ma'am Mary Ann Nicolas from San Carlos, Pangasinan. Hello po. Wow, all you can from Cebu. Gandang gabi po sa ating lahat. I hope tapos na po tayong mag-dinner. Yes, welcome. Thank you.
Okay. So,
Sir JR.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sir Jim Badi, and sa lahat po ng mga nakinig po mga students ngayon for this live streaming, and we hope na marami pa po kayo matututunan and mas marami pa pong knowledge in the mga susunod na araw. Maraming salamat po, sir. Ingat po kayo, and we hope magpapaalam na tayo, sir. And good evening everyone, and have a nice day. God bless po. Ingat po kayo. Sige po.